morning, noon, evening or night, depending when you're watching this video. My name is Alegende and welcome back to World of Tanks and the Stronk Strongholds series, where once again I have a very interesting Strongholds replay for you on Tundra in Tier 8. So of course, Tundra, we're going for the hill, but two of our heavy tanks are going to stay behind in order to defend the base, because both capture zones have this quite annoying rock formation, which gives a lot of cover for the enemies that are capping the base. However, of course, when we decide to do that, the entire enemy team is going for the hill as well. Of course it is. It's something that I've come across way too often, that no matter what you do, the enemy team also does the perfect thing to counter your specific strategy. Because I know for sure, if we went with all of our heavies towards this side, that definitely a couple of their tanks would immediately be in our base. Of course, one of their mediums is not on this side, but yeah, it's just typically the luck of the draw. And most of the times the luck is with the enemy team, because they are now taking the hill. Do let me know in the comments maybe what kind of measurements you are going to take in these circumstances where the enemy team is basically always gets the upper hand to you. No matter what you do, they have the better strategy or better counter to your strategy. However, in this battle, I think we do a very good job in order to, well, not completely contest the hill, but instead roll a bit back, especially after that arty strike, and play a lot more defensive. Of course, the enemies are getting a couple of crossfires from the hill in our defensive tanks, but we are keeping up. So mainly right now it is me and the Progetto 46 that is the main force of holding this flank, while the other tanks are trying to see if they have crossfires on the hill. But now that they are pushing through, they are also going to make their way back towards us in order to support the team. But of course the hill does have a major advantage, so they were a bit reluctant to go back, and when they did, they of course got some shots fired at them from the hill. And we are, well, in the end in a more precarious situation. But of course, as this title suggests, it's going to get a bit worse, as the enemy teams are focusing down our last few tanks, the Progetto of us. But now it is Marshok in his defender who is trying to salvage as much in this game as possible. And he does this by perfectly focus firing the one shot, aka the Progetto, and backing himself up against the map border. This is very important. Both of the enemy tanks do have far better maneuverability. However, Marshok is making that specific trait obsolete when they are no longer able to outflank him. And of course, with his front towards the enemy tanks, they got a lot more trouble in order to penetrate him. And like that, he also is able to take care of the CS in 2 shots. But now the last encounter against the EBR. What's the EBR going to do? Marshok should already be at the map border right now. The EBR is trying to make his move, but he slides a little bit too far towards the rock hill, and he is not able to get, well, above Marshok, I guess. I guess that was his plan. I don't know. But an excellent display in this 1 versus 3 from Marshok in his defender. So in general, after abandoning all attempts to capture the hill, we instead trying to make the best out of the more defensive situation. We do have a tank destroyer at the back, which is able to help us a bit. Also trying to keep the enemy tanks at bay as long as possible, giving our team as much time to focus down isolated targets and being able to redirect their fire back when the main threat arrives. However, in the end it wasn't quite enough to gain an upper hand. Once again, better enemy strategy, I guess, or just situational better strategy. Just general bad luck from our side. Every time we pick a certain tactics, the enemy have the best tactics in their own hand, even though they should not know what we are going to do. But luckily we got Marshock, which was able to fend off 3 last standing enemy tanks, and through focus firing the one shot, backing up against the map border and being able to conservatively direct the front of his hull towards the last remaining enemy tanks. Truly outstanding and a real game carrier. So that was it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it a lot, consider a donation through either one-time donation through Streamlabs or a monthly donation, also maybe through Patreon, in order to keep this content up. And of course, I will see you for the next video. For now, laters!